bracing for a direct hit from Hurricane Melissa, this monster Category 5 storm that is already the most powerful storm on Earth this year. Melissa is expected to make landfall within hours, but conditions are getting worse with the outer bands hitting even as we speak. The new updated track shows Melissa about 115 miles west-southwest of the capital, Kingston, with maximum sustained winds of an astonishing 175 miles per hour. Now, along with the catastrophic winds, there are expected flash flooding, life-threatening storm surge of up to 13 feet, and landslides. Mandatory evacuations have been ordered along parts of the coast. U.S. Air Force hurricane hunters have been inside the eye of the storm. The National Hurricane Center warns the eye wall could bring total structural failure to Jamaica, especially at higher elevations. The storm is already blamed for at least 7 deaths in the Caribbean, including 3 in Jamaica. CNN's Derek Van Dam live in Kingston this morning with the latest. Derek, what are you seeing so far?
Yeah, John, we are nearing the inevitable landfall of the strongest hurricane to ever strike this island nation. No one on Jamaica will be spared from the fury of Hurricane Melissa as it comes on shore in the coming hours. This slow, agonizing pace of about 3 to 5 miles per hour that is just going to prolong the misery across this country. We are in Kingston. National Weather Service, very strong wording about complete structural failure, communication, power outages for days, and isolation of communities possible. Here in Kingston, you can see the winds picking up in the background. The rain has really come in earnest throughout the course of the night. Trying to get a couple of hours of sleep to prepare for our day today. My windows were rattling last night as the Norman Manley International Airport, which is within sight of the balcony of our hotel, reported a gust of 58 miles per hour. That was the storm is well offshore of where I'm located, 115 miles to be precise. But the core of those inner eye wall winds, the strongest part of this Cat 5 hurricane, is about 30 miles in diameter, and where it will make landfall is so critical. We say this a lot. It's a game of miles now as we take that final approach into the south coast of Jamaica. We're thinking maybe the St. Elizabeth Parish, Treasure Beach, the Mandeville region. If you look on a map of Jamaica, you'll see it. What makes the terrain here so susceptible is a lot of people, a lot of communities live in these low-lying areas that are prone to flash flooding, mudslides, and landslides. So Kingston itself sits in a bowl surrounded by mountains that tower over 7,000 feet. And when the water falls in those mountains and here on the ground, it's going to be met with an opposing force of the storm surge from Hurricane Melissa, and those opposing forces are going to work against each other and make that water rise up right along those coastlines where unfortunately there still are people located. You can see, I want to pan up here quickly just with my cameraman. We do already have a couple of side structural damages on the side of our building here, and we're really just getting going. So we're going to monitor that, keep in a safe place. We do have the ability to get indoors very quickly, but conditions will be going downhill, and we are thinking and praying for the people of Jamaica. It is going to be an unthinkable day here on this island nation, John.
A treacherous combination going into that recipe down there. Derek Van Dam in Kingston, where it will get progressively worse. You and your team, please stay safe. Sarah?
Yeah, already seeing a little bit of damage there, and the storm hasn't even made full landfall yet. CNN meteorologist Allison Chinchar tracking the catastrophic storm this morning. Allison, what can we expect next from Melissa as we're seeing those outer bands hitting Jamaica already?
All right, so you're really just going to start to see those conditions deteriorate rapidly over the next few hours because landfall is expected in just a few hours from now. The center of the storm still just south of Jamaica. It's moving to the north-northeast at about 5 miles per hour. That's still incredibly slow, albeit double the speed. It's been moving for most of the overnight hours, so at least a little bit of improvement there. Then it will continue to slide its way off to the north, but it is expected to make landfall as a very powerful Category 5 storm, gradually, and I mean very gradually, weakening as it continues to slide up to the north over portions of eastern Cuba, then the Bahamas, before finally making it back out over open water. Rainfall is certainly going to be the biggest concern with this system, not just from the flooding aspect, but also the landslides and the mudslide component that go right along with it. Here you can see all of those outer bands stretching across not just Jamaica, but a lot of the other neighboring island nations as well. Here's a look at the overall totals. You'll see a lot of red and pink color on this map indicating widespread 6 to 12 inches of rain. That may not sound like all that much, but what you have to understand is half a foot has already fallen across many of these areas. So we're just talking about adding to that total. Some of these spots could end up topped out at more than 20 inches of rain before the system finally exits the area. That's one impact. Now we also have the wind component because it is still a very powerful Category 5 storm. You've got those wind gusts well over 100 miles per hour. So as the storm continues to make its way landfall over Jamaica and then heading up towards Cuba, it's still going to have very powerful winds. Even if the storm does weaken, it's still going to have very strong winds across some of these other countries like Cuba and the Bahamas. Keep in mind, too, that when you have that saturated ground, it doesn't take much to bring down trees and power lines. Even a 50 or 60 mile per hour wind is more than enough to bring those things down.
It is terrifying just looking at it, and Jamaica has never experienced a storm like this before. I know you will be watching the trajectory of this, and our Derek Van Dam and crews on the ground will be talking to them throughout the day. Allison Chinchar, thank you so much. Appreciate it.